And happy, today's Monday. Oh my god, it's Monday. Sorry, like I forgot for a second. I just had a full morning of consultations and like my coaching. I don't know how to say consultation, I don't even know what to call it. Like my coaching girls, and then this week I broke it half and half today and then half on Wednesday. And so I don't know, just as I guess I always feel like I can describe what I'm doing. I'm going to get a blowout, like very revolutionary, we get it at this point, but I just like had a lot of like interesting conversations. Every time I have these coaching calls, it's so great because I just love to, you guys, I don't know if you're probably watching this, I love you guys so much, but everyone else is watching who isn't doing coaching with me. I like to share like some of the stuff we talk about because so many points, I feel like obviously divine timing, like the things that they'll bring up and then things that I like the insights I have back. Sometimes it sparks like a conversation in me, and I'm a very talkative person, and just like a lot of things I talked about with the girls today, like just so many things I wanted to talk about in general just with you guys, with just everyone. And like one of those things was like almost like trusting your intuition to a certain extent. Like I feel as though it's so crazy, like one of the girls brought up such a good example today. She's like, when you're cooking in the kitchen and you randomly get an idea like, oh, I should go check like if my car is locked or something like that, like you get these like almost like little messages from like the universe or whatever. Like it's just like intuition. You get these like random pop-ups, or like I don't know if you've ever, this is more of like not a sketchy thing, but like you've ever been like, oh, I should check something on social media, like I should see if they like saw this, or I should check if they like this, like just small things. I'm just trying to give like general examples where you're like, oh my gosh, like it's very random, like you weren't forcing the thought, you weren't like thinking about something and then you're like, what can I do? Like you're literally just like living your life and you get like this random thought. It's almost like a little message from the universe, and like how we really need to learn to trust that more, because you start reflecting what she was talking about. It started making me reflect also, like on so many times where like I've had this like such strong intuition, and it's because like, and your ego like justifies it. Like I'll get like such a clear like message about something, like it'll seem so true, like I'm like, oh my gosh, and I'll just be like, no, like I'll be like, there's no way that they'd be doing that, or like no, like I try, like you just justify, you're like no, and it's almost like us self-sabotaging ourselves, because like I feel like our subconscious almost even knows that, like for example, I'm just using like a very basic example I feel like a lot of girls can relate to. You're like, oh, if I check this or I look at this, like I know I'm gonna be sad, it's gonna hurt me, like I know I'm right about this, so like instead like your ego logically tries to like justify it. You're like, oh, that would never happen because blah 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 blah. It's almost like something, it's like we have like this like outlook on life, like this glass, like this pink glass, and as soon as like there's like a crack in the glass, like let's like the universe gives you a message like, maybe you should check that out, just trying to guide you to something, you like immediately are like, oh my gosh, you grab the plaster, and the plaster is like your logic, and you're plastering the glass, and you're plastering or whatever, you're trying to fix it and cover it with all the logic so that your perfect rose colored lens looks perfect again. And like you don't have to break this whole rose colored lens and build a new lens, because a new outlook on life, if like things aren't as they seem, you know. I look back so many times I would get like messages about certain things, like do this or look at this, and at the craziest times, like I would give stories, but that's a lot of them are very very personal, so that's why I don't really want to just like share it online. Maybe like I would share it with like one of my coaching girls, but like when I've literally been like, oh, like I've randomly gotten messages to check like the randomest things that have given me so many clues to things. Like I guess I can give one example, it's not really, it's pretty general, but like one time I was like, oh, check something on Venmo, like the most randomest thing. Like I literally go on Venmo like maybe once a month, like I don't know, like I don't use it that often. I mean, I use it just to pay like if I have a cleaning or something like that, or if like I split something with a friend, like, but very rare, like, you know what I mean. Normally I feel like I just don't use it, and like I was like, oh, go on, and I literally found like just like the craziest like coincidence of stuff that like led to like a whole other thing. I don't know why the lighting gets super dark, there we go. But it's just like random messages like that, or like sometimes you'll just be like, like something feels off. I feel like it's more like, I feel like this type of intuition comes more in like warning signs. I feel like yes, this can come in inspiration, but I feel like a lot of times our intuition is more like, because if we're doing things right, like we just feel happy and nice, so I feel like the universe doesn't feel a need to like warn us or throw a red flag, you know what I mean? I feel like it's like when it's more like when you feel weird about something but you try to justify it, like I don't know. And then I feel like also when we do get like those little whatever bits of intuition that are like, look at this or whatever, and then like that person does confront the situation, and then the person like tries to, okay, so like this is like such a basic example that I'm giving, it's very general, so I feel like I can use it. So like let's say a girl this just happened to like some of my clients. Like a girl is like wants to check her boyfriend's phone, like she feels like randomly suspicious, right? Like very basic example. So she'll be like, oh my gosh, can I check your phone? And the guy will be like, oh my gosh, like you're crazy, like why would you ask, blah 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 blah. Like, but so then the girl feels as though like she was crazy, like it's almost like a conditioning. So now in future relationships, she's not gonna want to ask the other person, you know, to do that, because it's like it makes her think that the other person thinks that she's insecure, when it was a very like normal thing. Like this is like a little bit of a personal delve into this, but like I personally think like if you have nothing to hide, like what the heck, like if someone I was dating was like, oh, like I don't know, I have like a weird feeling, like I'm sorry, like can I look at your phone? I'd be like, yes sweetie. First of all, it would make me feel so good because I literally have nothing to fucking hide. Like my phone, like I text like my mom, like, you know, I have nothing to hide. Like I'm a very honest and genuine person. Oh my gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars would drive Starbucks drive-thru. I'm running late, but I still need Starbucks. Like I can't, not today. And like then they'd be more confident in the relationship, and it shows I'm not hiding anything. It's just like, I don't know. So do you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to draw it back to the intuitive point. So like when a girl does that, and a guy, or like let's say it's a parent, like let's say she gets some weird intuition about her mom or dad, and they shut dark, and they try to like, you know, it becomes like a condition, like you become scared to follow your intuition, and it becomes more blocked and more blocked and more blocked because like of those, you know, of those like triggers almost. So I don't know, it just made me reflect on like how you just really need to trust yourself. And I know it's like hard, sometimes you're like, oh, what's my intuition? But it's, your intuition is like when you're not thinking of something and something just comes to you. Like I hope like anyone else that has a better way to explain intuition, feel free to explain, but it's like that one of my clients had such a good example. Like you're cleaning the kitchen and you randomly just like have a random thought, like check this or look at that. Like you're not like purposely going on a crazy search for something. You're not being like, you know what I mean? It's just like sometimes it's happened to me. I'm like in the middle of the night, I remember once I was like, go check this, and it's like, it's just like like that would never happen normally. It's like, it's just things that are, not that it wouldn't happen normally, it's just like these messages that you're like, huh? And then it just like, it makes sense. And like I said, it's just so crazy because I feel like when we get these messages, like our subconscious knows to the point where we self-sabotage ourselves. And I feel like also, I don't know, I was talking about this with my hypnotherapist a few weeks ago, so it's like a different point that we're talking about, but how like people self-sabotage themselves in relationships. So like because of insecurity, like basically people just have so much personal growth to work on, so like fucking do it. Like that's why I love you guys and I love this community. Like who else is there to work on in this life but yourself? Like the more you work on yourself and your personal growth and your vibration, the clearer you become, the better quality of your life, the better people you'll attract into your life. Like the clearer your energy, the clearer your manifestations will be. Like you attract what vibration you put out. So if you're like all like sad and depressed, you're not gonna attract some happy, amazing, wonderful person who's just gonna change you. Like people are like, oh, why do I attract all these types of guys, blah 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 blah. It's like, if you actually took the time to self-reflect, like what in me attracted this, and like take the time, you know, to reflect and journal and to think like what characteristics, what in me is our insecurities I need to heal in me, so you can heal that and move on and then attract something better than people who just keep repeating the same fucking lessons over and over. Like I don't want to be 30 years old repeating the same lessons. So sometimes it's not easy. Like I feel like people, like when you say like, oh, personal growth, learning lessons, it just sounds so bubbly and fun. Like it's not. Like going through relationships where like things, you know, are hard and things are reflected back at you that trigger you, and then to have a self-reflection to realize what's in you and to work on that and to fix that. It's not like just like, you know, and I don't know. So it just, and it's also, I feel like a lot of people are just, I don't know, just on Mondays I have a lot of these realizations because I talk for so many hours with so many girls, so it triggers a lot in me, you know, because I'm thinking so much. But it's just like, we're just like people just put so much energy into people, things, relationships, whatever, that like, I don't say aren't worth it, but like is not, I don't want to say something offensive, but that doesn't make sense or isn't valuable, or situations that don't serve their highest good that they know, or situations that drain them, or just bad people, bad situations. Like I don't know how else to describe it. I don't want to like sound harsh, but like all that energy you could be putting like into yourself, not in a selfish way, but into growing your goals. Like you see like people like out here, like I don't know, like girls are like chasing like guys that treat them like crap, and you see all this shit and you're like, oh my, like first of all, like people are first of all, some people are immature. That's one thing. Second of all, on top of maturity, there's like childhood issues, and then on top of childhood issues that people have, there's like more personal growth, like triggers and things you need to heal in yourself and understand. Like, and until someone's at a mature level to like go in through and to like fully embark on on personal growth and like be mindful and aware of their actions and like actually reflect on their behavior every day and where their life's at, until someone's at that point of like understanding, they're not going to be caring or nice to you. And I feel like I learned that lesson like also like last year. Like I was like almost, I feel like in a sense a little naive, like maybe beginning of last year. I mean, obviously we grow so much. Hold on a second. Hi.
Hey, what are we having?
Can I get a venti cold brew with coconut milk and 3 pumps of vanilla?
Venti cold brew?
Okay, going back to what I was saying, sorry, that was a lot. I got a little confused, I'll admit, because I just ordered and whatever. But I learned that like I was like, how can someone not be like caring, or how can someone not be compassionate, or like want to communicate and like grow? Like for me, like another thing we need to talk about, this whole vlog is gonna be like you know how some of my vlogs are like fun stuff I'm doing during the day, and some like we sit down, we talk, like seriously talk about life. Like I feel like I'm seriously just talking about life today. So but like people just like need to learn to be, I'm gonna finish the first thought and move on. I'm a Gemini, and I know I sound like I'm all over the place, but everything's tying together in like a cohesive way, I swear. But like if someone's not even in like, basically the first point I was saying, like if someone's not in that space of like personal growth and understanding to where they like care about themselves and are mindful, like what makes you think that they're gonna be like caring, mindful, communicative like towards you? Like, you know what I mean? Like people will treat others how people do anything is how people do everything. Like if people care and are compassionate, invested, then yeah, but like, you know what I mean? It's not, nothing's like personal, you know what I mean? Like I feel like when you start realizing that it's not a personal thing, and people project, anything ever says to you is a projection of their personal experiences, beliefs, etc., how they were raised, until, you know what I mean, like X, Y, and Z, until like they work on their mindset and, you know, shift and undo programming, whatever. But like, so once you realize like if this person, you know, is like being like a douche or like rude or ununderstanding or whatever, like it's just because they're not at that like level of like understanding of mindfulness, of aware, of maturity. Like they're just not there yet, and it's nothing towards you, nothing you did wrong. I mean, everything I say is like in general, like someone could be like, but what if that person did something wrong? Okay, then that's an exception. But I'm just saying that, you know what I mean? If someone is just like rude for no reason, like people get like shook, or they're like, how could this person do this? It's like, it's never a reflection of something you did. It's like of their insecurities. I feel like people have so much insecurity, it's insane, and all they do is like project them onto others, because people want to push them away so much that subconsciously, if you watch this, you can watch it happen so much. People project like what they're insecure on that onto you, so they'll like accuse you of like X, Y, and Z of all what they're insecure about. And then going on to the other point of what I was saying earlier is like people, like it's being reasonable. I talk about this with Ollie and Stella and my mom. I literally like just want people it's like just people need to learn how to be reasonable, you know what I mean? Like let's say, like I just want to say like one last message, my camera's dying. Like if you have a tiff or a disagreement with a friend, or some sort of tension, or something isn't working out, instead of like people just start like swearing and fighting and playing the blame game, and that's when you see true colors. Like have a fight with someone and see how they act. It'll like really show you. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like for me, like usually I want like space if something's going on. Like I usually won't fight and like call names unless I'm like betrayed. And then, you know what I mean? Or people want like, mostly when people want space, or like you just see how they act. Normally I'm like willing to resolve it. I want to like have a conversation. I'm like, let's communicate, like let's sit down, like what did I do that made you feel that way, what did you do that made me feel that way, like just in a very mature way to have a discussion to come to a conclusion that pleases both parties, you know. But people just start like fighting and swearing and accusing, and just like, can we all, I hope all of you, I like love you guys all so much, but just be the reasonable person, you know. Like there's no need to like be petty and to like play games with people or friends. Just like be reasonable, be a reasonable person, or just be a reasonable human being. Just have a conversation, say how you feel, and honesty, you know, honesty is so important. Like if people were honest and communicative, like so many issues, and I'm not gonna say all, but it could be not fixed, but could be resolved in a more efficient way, because people just aren't honest. They don't tell people how they feel, and then they don't communicate. So the other person is like, huh? This could be in job, relationships, anything, you know, like parents, kids. Just like if people were just honest about where they're at, how they're feeling, the other person would first, and they're communicating that, like it allows the other person to come from a more place of like empathy and compassion, understanding, and also gives the other person in many situations like the power, like the empowerment to like make a decision. Because when someone's not being honest, the other person doesn't feel empowered. They feel like they're almost like being like lied to. But if you're honest, even if it's like something maybe they don't want to hear, you give them like that choice, you know, that freedom. So that was the conversation for today. This vlog is already so long. I will try to continue. I just had a day, like I said, of coaching, and now I'm going to a blowout, and then I'm gonna go work out in the evening, and after that I'm gonna work on a vlog, and I'm gonna journal tonight for like my weekly thing. Pretty much a work day, just like, you know, I don't know, just talking, doing what I love. But yeah, I love you guys so much. You can let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts on about all of this are. I hope something resonated with you. I hope this maybe like sparked something within you, and if you've been having some sort of intuition about something, hopefully this gave you like the assurance or the guidance that like follow that you're not alone. And you know, I don't know, I love you guys so much, and thank you guys for all your comments and all your support always. You guys mean the whole world to me. I'm like so late to my blowout, but what can y'all do, you know?
I never been like this, I never been like this.